Scorpio, this is your tarot reading for the month of July. Most zodiac signs readings have been quite psychological, but I'm not sure if yours is. I've just had something of a dilemma with Sagittarius. The bottom part looked psychological and the top looked sort of physical. So I'm not sure about yours. I'm drawn to that Lovers card in the centre there. And it does mean the lovers. And indeed, if you look at the bottom right, it suggests the new love comes into your life. However, I'm very wary of it, as I think you are. Indeed, right now you're hanging around, waiting for something to happen. Maybe it's been imposed on you. Maybe it's imposed by this love. Maybe that's what gives you the misgivings even. I'm not sure. That's interesting. Yeah. In the future, you're betrayed. Are you betrayed by this love? I think it could be. And they don't necessarily get away with it. You might catch them out. And they know they're doing wrong. They might even have second thoughts. But yeah, there's betrayal there. You're searching for ways of communicating. Is this with the new love? I think it must be, that you don't find an easy way to communicate with them. You're searching for it, but it's difficult. What would change everything is you stepping into your power, more conservative sort of power, the power of, a bit like a fatherly figure, That's interesting, isn't it? So instead of trying to compromise, you being firmer. And the universe wants you to know that you have this wonderful inner strength. So whatever is thrown up in July, you can get through it. I've made it sound a bit depressing, and I don't necessarily find this depressing as much as the ebbs and flows of life, to be honest with you. But let's look at each individually. Now the reading is dominated by this lover's energy. I have interpreted this in July as meaning filling your heart full of love. But I don't think it is. I think this really is a lover. And I've got real misgivings about it. And I think you have as well. I don't think you perhaps know why you've got these misgivings. I've got the feeling they could be a narcissist. But there's something that doesn't feel right about it. And this runs through the entire reading. It could be that you find July challenging, but undoubtedly you'll learn from it. Undoubtedly it's for your benefit to learn from it. Yeah. And I believe this to be a new love that you found before July, but it's new to you. And it feels wonderful. It feels fabulous, Feels like they're heaven sent almost. But of course, if I'm right and they're a narcissist, then you're being love bombed. So it would feel like that. Now, I think this card being placed here, or this energy being placed here, is very important. I really do. Because I think it's the key to understanding it. Yeah. Interesting. The current energy is that of you hanging around. Is this enforced or are you choosing to do it? Now, for most people in July, I've read it as being that you're choosing to do it. You can't understand what's going on in the world, and therefore you're biding your time till you get more information. But I'm feeling that this is to do with this Lover's card, and indeed, given its placement, I think that is the way to read it. And of course it comes after the new love card. And it's almost as though this new love isn't flourishing as you would expect it. Now, I've said I thought they were a narcissist, and if they were a narcissist, then they'd be full on, almost proposing to marry you immediately. Maybe they're not a narcissist, but maybe they've got somebody else and you can't see them as often as you'd like. After July, you do get betrayed. I'm assuming it's by this person we're talking of, the lover. Might not be, but I'm assuming that's what it is. It's a betrayal that doesn't necessarily come off. It could be one that you spot before it does its damage, although, I'm sure you won't be happy. It's also a betrayal whereby they know that they're doing wrong, so it's somewhat premeditated. They may even have second thoughts about it. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong about them being a narcissist, but do you know, it's feeling a bit more like, a romance scam type of situation. I'm not saying that's what it is, but that's what it's feeling more like. There's something that doesn't ring true about this. If these are related to the lover, there's no reason why they shouldn't be. Searching for either information or a new way of communicating, and I'm assuming again we're talking of this person. Yeah. Do you know, I don't know if you feel this way, but I think most people are getting disenchanted with AI. And it is because particularly with customer service situations, when we interact with AI, we're not dealing with it. We know we're not dealing with a human brain, no matter how good it is, it's not human, and we can see through it. And it's a similar feeling that people get to dealing with narcissists. But I guess if it is a love scam, then you'd have a similar feeling that there's something wrong here. You haven't necessarily sussed them out as much as just saying, well, how do I communicate? How can I get through what seems to be crossed communications? I'm pretty certain the universe is saying you need to be much more authoritative. You need to be much firmer in this situation. I don't think you do get that way, Now, I think it was before I married my wife. It might have been shortly. There was a time when we were sort of had a Muslim wedding, but not a registered wedding. So it could have been in that space, which lasted a few years, to be honest. But one of my daughter's friends was on a dating website. I think it was called Dating Asia. And she wasn't getting any interest on it. So she used my wife's picture, because my wife is very beautiful. And she was inundated with people. Rather foolishly, because my wife wouldn't have been interested. But my wife put up her own profile on it. And a man supposedly from America contacted her. And it didn't take long for him to start sending her pictures of gold bars and what have you. And I just told her, drop it, there's no way my wife would have gone down what he wanted to do anyway, She's Indonesian. Indonesians don't have that sort of money, But yeah, if she had been firmer from the start, and it wouldn't have come to anything at all, Yeah, I think that's what you're being told. I say, I don't think you do take this authoritative stance. But the universe is sending you a message saying, look, whatever is going on here, you're strong enough to deal with it. This does suggest to me, and this is the theme of July actually, and that is that you're meant to learn from this, and it's only occurring now because the universe knows that you can deal with it. It might not be pleasant when it's happening, but you should learn something very important from it. Yeah, you've got that strength. It's a wonderful inner strength. So I think this is a very good message coming from the universe to you on this. Need clarification on this Lover's card, don't we? I've invented a whole narrative around this spread, which may be completely wrong. First card we get is you getting disillusioned and walking away. The next card is you scoring some victories and maybe making people jealous. And the final card is the card of judgment. That's karmic judgment. So if you have been duped or betrayed, leave it in the hands of God, Allah, the universe, because the person who's wronged you is going to get their karmic comeuppance for sure. Now remember, we're clarifying the Lover's card, and the first card of clarification is you getting disillusioned and walking away from it. So I'm right, there's something very wrong with it. Is it a romance scam? Well, we don't know. I think it's more likely than them being a narcissist. And of course we do have that betrayal. Doesn't necessarily have to be a scam, does it? No. It could be that they've got other people, I don't know what it is, but you're definitely walking away from it, which is the right thing to be doing for sure. Yeah. The next... I wonder if this is about you. This next card is about scoring some victories, but making other people jealous. I wonder if it is about them, and that they're playing around, hence your misgivings, and it does make you jealous. That's a much more likely explanation, isn't it? I mean, it could be you that you're scoring some victories. Not necessarily I'm talking about playing around, but victories in dumping them, But does that make them jealous that you've dumped them? Could do, I suppose, but I think the explanation more likely that it's them who are playing around. Of course, if it's a romance scam, they probably have many people that are involved in it, but maybe I've got that wrong. No, maybe it's just that they're playing around a bit. Now, whatever has actually happened, there is justice coming, and this is a karmic justice. That means that however they have wronged you, they will be punished for it. You don't need to worry about it, You just move on. It could mean that you are rewarded by the universe for what you have lost as well. It could mean that. The other thing that I read into this is that it's sort of saying to me that this whole thing was a lesson for you to learn. And I did mention that before, but this is coming across quite strongly now. That they've been put across your path so that you learn the lesson. Not necessarily to be more guarded, but if you remember, the antidote was to be more authoritative, more firm, to have your boundaries almost, to have an air of authority, I think is really the answer, yeah. So I think we can summarise for you, Scorpio. Scorpio, there's a lesson for you to learn. It is a karmic lesson for you to learn in July. So this is a psychological reading, but it's also, I think, quite physical. Before July, you met somebody that felt wonderful. A lover, yeah, a lover. But it's not moving on as quickly as you would like, and you don't really know why. And it's, I believe, because they've got other lovers and they're not telling you. You're anxious to find a way of communicating with them. You don't seem to be able to communicate your misgivings with them. And in part it's probably because they're with other people when you want to communicate with them. Now the universe is letting you know that you've got a wonderful strength to get through this, and as I say, it is karmic. It's about you learning a lesson. And after July, they do attempt to betray you. I don't know if this is a money betrayal or it's simply that you discover that they've got other people. But you certainly find out that you've been badly let down by them. And as I say, the universe is letting you know that you've got the strength to deal with it. That's why this is happening now. It's a lesson for you. But what the universe is also saying is that if you were a little bit more conservative, a little bit more like a father figure, a little bit more authoritative, somebody with not only boundaries, but maybe red lines, you know? Things that you just won't allow others to do to you. This may not have happened. So it could be a, what can I say? Could be a sad lesson in July, but it's only in July, you know, it's, well, you did meet them before, but it's, you know, it comes to a head in July. So I don't think it's, I mean, July might be a bit painful, but in the long run scheme of things, I don't think it's too bad.